Op goes on Reddit to find someone willing to act as his fake, long-lost son to prank and piss off his wife. Posted by you/Mark Weston. My wife and I are watching Elf together, and we saw the part where Buddy, Will Ferrell's real dad, James Caan, tells his wife about Buddy. His wife, Mary Steenburgen, gets excited about this surprise adult kid who pops into their life from a time before they knew each other. I point out to my wife that it's a little unbelievable she, Mary Steenburgen, would immediately be on board. I then comment that she, my wife, would actually be mad at me in this situation, even if I genuinely didn't know the kid existed and it was conceived before I met her. She denies it, but I know my wife. We're in our early 40s and have been married 10 years, together for 12. So, I need a 20-ish kid to knock on the door and tell me they're my kid and that they just wanted to meet me. You've got to be convincing and really talk about how your mom and I were once really happy before she died of something tragic, dealer's choice. The job pays $100. Gender, race, etc., don't matter, so long as you can pass for early 20s. It shouldn't take more than an hour of conversation, then you get a call or something and have to leave. I'd like to do this soon after the new year. You come up with a backstory, and I'll play along. I'll give you a little info up front after you take the job. Edit. Holy cow, I have several interested potential fake offspring. I am no longer taking applications. I did not expect so many willing people. I'll post the winning candidate in the coming days. Edit. It looks like I not only have a potential fake kid, but the kid could actually pass as genetically mine. I will post an update in the first week of January, hopefully not from a shelter. Update 16 days later. First off, I am still married, and my wife thoroughly enjoyed the prank. I didn't even have to sleep on the couch. So, to the very dramatic naysayers, one of whom compared my prank to spousal abuse, several diagnosed me with a number of mental illnesses, and at least as many said I was childish and cruel. To you, I say, you're probably right. However, nah boo boo, stick your head in doo-doo. We've been married for a decade. We know each other well enough to understand what's over the line and what's funny. That said, it was harder than I thought to secure a fake child. Sure, I had a large number of interested parties and even a couple of fabulous candidates, one of whom actually looked enough like me that I started wondering if one of you got to my wife and was pulling the ultimate Uno reverse card on my prank. Unfortunately, interested and committed are two very different things. Multiple potential sons and daughters made it to the planning stage but found one reason or another to bail out. Let me be clear, I do not blame these folks at all. I don't think I'd have the courage to send the first DM, let alone actually go through with a prank orchestrated by a complete stranger. But I did find a suitable actor with the courage to come through, and I still think it was money well spent. So here's a synopsis of how it played out. No, there's not a video. Saturday afternoon, my doorbell rang. My dog lost his mind, as he tends to do, and my wife answered the door since I had pretended to take a call moments earlier. My son, looking about 20 to 25, taller and better looking than I, asked if I was home. My wife motioned to me. I had conveniently just ended my fake phone call, and I came to the door. My son, who even shared my first name, his idea, not mine, said he had something kind of strange to talk to me about. I asked if he wanted to come in, which almost blew the whole thing because I would sooner saw off my own foot than invite people into my house, but my wife didn't think much of it. We came to the living room. I offered him a drink, and he declined. My son is an excellent actor, by the way. He would later say it was the anxiety of the situation and not wanting to mess up that made his nervous demeanor so convincing. This is from memory, but it's pretty much everything. I'll let my son chime in with details should he feel like outing himself. Do you remember old ex-girlfriend I mentioned at least once in my 10-year marriage in front of my wife? Yeah? That's my mother. It was my wife who reacted first with, "Oh no way." So I looked at her, feigning ignorance, then back at my son, and said, "Is she okay?" "Yeah, she's fine. That's not why I'm here." My wife was nearly busting out of her chair, totally engrossed and completely consumed with two strong theories. 1. Her husband had a long-lost son. 2. Her husband hadn't figured out yet that he had a long-lost son. So I said, "Out with it, kid. What's going on?" I'm 22 years old. My wife's eyes essentially bugged out of her head, having now confirmed her theories in her mind. She looked at me, seemingly annoyed that I hadn't put these obvious puzzle pieces together, and interrupted my fake kid. I nearly laughed, but I held it together. "I think he's telling you that he thinks you're his father." My acting is not so great, but I gave it a shot with, "Wait, what?" My look of shock could use some work, but it played for the audience. My son looked at me. "She's right. And I'm not here to ask for anything. In fact, I don't have a lot of time to stay, but I just wanted to meet you and maybe exchange numbers." Me, this is a lot to take in. I knew your mother a long time ago, and she never said, I didn't know. Him, I'm paraphrasing, but this kid deserves an Oscar. She never told you. She only told me on Christmas morning. She didn't say anything bad about you, Just that it was over and she was already dating my dad when she found out she was pregnant with me. Me, wait, does your dad know? Him, of course. And I've always known he wasn't my biological father. He's a great dad, but lately I'd been wondering who my real father was, so I asked Mom, and she told me. Me, wow. I freely admit, I had the easy part. My wife, not saying anything, just taking it all in. Not much else to tell in terms of the production. We exchanged numbers, then he got his own fake phone call reminding him he was late for something or other, and I walked him out. The rest of the production was just my wife and me. I came back to the living room, doing my best bewildered act. We talked about it, covered things like paternity tests, etc., and it turns out, I was way wrong. My wife wasn't mad, miffed, or even slightly annoyed. She was full-on amazed, excited, and entertained by the whole thing. I waited a few hours before I fessed up, but before I did, she kept saying how cool it was that I might have a son. And then, when I told her it was all a BS lie I made up to prove a point, she laughed. A lot. I can't decide what amused her more, the effort I put into the ruse or the fact that I ended up proving her right in the process. Here are a couple of gems from my wife after I told her the truth. Where the hell did you find that guy? I'm glad your son wasn't a serial killer. I might have been mad if he came here looking for money. Next time you can save $100 and just assume you're wrong. You know I'm going to get you back, right? That last one has me a little worried.